I personally believe that parents should love their child unconditionally and try to support them as much as possible. And they shouldn't let other people's opinion about the child really affect them. In today's Reddit story, the OP asked if she's the a-hole for not wanting to have another child. It comes from the subreddit Am I the A-hole? And it's titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to have another child after my husband said our daughter isn't his spiritual child? What? Alright, let's find out more. For context, me, 33 female, and my husband, Steven, 40 male, have been together for 15 years, married for 12 years. We had our daughter, Peyton, 14 female, a year into our relationship. Our relationship has been happy except for a few arguments and some things I noticed recently that has made me consider being with him. When we had our daughter, we were both over the moon. He was an amazing father and he is an amazing husband. In his free time, he will always want to spend time with Peyton, and he made lots of effort to be as involved as possible. They are definitely very close, or were, because after these events, Peyton has shown disinterest in hanging out with Steven. A couple of weeks ago, Peyton came to us and told us she was dating a girl. Initially, Steven and I both were very supportive and let her know that we love her no matter what. Last weekend, she went to visit her aunt and uncle, who were staying with my mother-in-law for a week. Aunt and uncle have a child, 12, female, who is close with Peyton. Mother-in-law is strongly religious. Suddenly, I get a call from mother-in-law demanding that I collect Peyton from her house, and in her words, how dare I allow her near her cousin while she is swerving away from the path of God. Because in mother-in-law's eyes, apparently Peyton was influencing her cousin to be gay. Let me put it out there that me and my husband have never put any religious beliefs upon our child or let religion dictate the way we raise our child. My husband has told me in the past that he doesn't agree with a lot of the religious beliefs and practices, but he still says he's religious. Peyton was obviously upset and I was fuming. My husband was at work, so I went to collect Peyton from mother-in-law's house. When we got home, I comforted Peyton because she was in floods of tears, saying she doesn't like mother-in-law. She told me that her cousin and her were talking about crushes and other girl things. Then went on to say that mother-in-law stormed in and started yelling about how Peyton was disrespectful and told her cousin to not go near Peyton because she's contagious. When Steven came home, he instantly asked Peyton what was wrong, and he comforted her too and apologized for mother-in-law's behavior. Steven and I discussed how to proceed from here and eventually decided to cut ties with mother-in-law due to her behavior causing so much stress for Peyton. We both made that decision, and I asked him if he was okay with cutting ties with his mother, to which he replied he was and that he would do anything for Peyton. I thought things would end with mother-in-law here, but it progressively gotten worse. Steven had tried several times this week to initiate sex, and I've politely told him no, as I've not really been in the mood. He got upset when I said no, so in the end, I just let him, but he doesn't usually get upset anymore after being told no. As well as this, he has also tried to initiate more than usual this week, and I was confused as to why, because he was being distant with Peyton too. So I asked him about it, and he was dismissing my concerns at first, but eventually confessed that he wants another child because he believes Peyton isn't his child spiritually. When I asked him what he meant, he confided that he had been talking to mother-in-law for a couple of days, and he had come to the realization that God wouldn't give him a child that would upset his mother. And he wanted to try for another child, even going as far to admit as he was thinking about poking holes in condoms or going down on me while I slept to force me into pregnancy. Luckily, he doesn't do either of these things, but I snapped at this confession and refused to talk to him for a few days. He begged me to forgive him and is begging me to rethink, saying that he desperately wants a grandchild to carry on his last name and would do anything to have another child with me. I asked him what Peyton is to him, and he said that she's his biological daughter, but not his spiritual daughter, and that didn't mean anything to him. I was shocked that my husband, who has shown nothing but love for our daughter, could just say this. Honestly, I'm repulsed by his behavior, and I've taken Peyton to stay with my parents while we figure things out. I don't know if this is worth savaging or if I should continue to be with him after all of this. He's never behaved this way about this and agree with his mother's belief openly. I also thought we had come to an agreement, but I guess not. Right now, after speaking to several friends and family members, I realize it might be best if I divorce him because I can't guarantee my daughter's safety around him, but a part of me feels like I should at least get in contact with him again and try to work things out before throwing away 15 years of a relationship and potentially ruining my daughter's relationship with his family. I feel like I might be the a-hole because I could be dismissing his beliefs and values by refusing to have another child or divorcing him. But his beliefs are affecting our daughter, and I can't ignore that. I also could be ruining our daughter's relationship if I divorce him and cut ties with his family, but including his family in our lives could affect my daughter's mental health. TLDR. Husband wants another child after feeling not spiritually related to our teenage daughter who is dating a girl after mother-in-law banned her from our house for religious reasons. I'm thinking of divorcing him, but I don't want to dismiss his religious values or put my daughter in a bad place. Ooh. Wow, OP. All I gotta say to you is divorce this man, okay? He did a 180 on you. In the beginning, he sounded like he was all for you and for your daughter. He was supportive. He loved your daughter unconditionally. And now he's saying that the daughter is biologically his, that Peyton is biologically his, but not his spiritual daughter. How does that even make sense? And it's really, really suspicious that he did a 180 so quickly after agreeing to both you and him had agreed to cut contact with mother-in-law because of her religious belief. So what changed? First of all, he broke his promise. He said that he was going to cut ties with the mother-in-law. But no, instead, he continued to talk to the mother-in-law for a couple of weeks and then have the mother-in-law influence his thoughts about Peyton not being his real daughter. And then forcing you to have another child to try again. Hello? We're talking about your daughter. She's a real human being. Okay? What changed? Like seriously, if you're that attached to your mom, go back to your mom. And OP, you do what's best for Peyton, for both you and Peyton. Stay with family. Find support from your family and friends. Get away from this toxic family, from your husband, from your in-laws, from everyone who's going to cause mental health issues for your daughter. Your daughter is 14. That's a critical age. She needs all the support she needs. And to get that kind of a reaction from mother-in-law, okay? And then to find that her dad basically is just disowning her or doesn't feel connected to her just because she likes a girl, just because she has the non-norm of choosing a partner. Come on. Get with it. Oh, it just makes me so upset because if Peyton was my child, I would 100% support Peyton. And if I was in OP's position, I would 100% divorce my husband because my kids come first, okay? My kids' mental health and their sanity and their life means more to me than my husband. I hate to say that, but it's true. I love my kids unconditionally. I will support them in any way. And to screw whoever else who won't support and try to cause harm to my child, you best believe Mama Bear is going to come out. Anyways, let's see what some of the commenters have to say about the situation. First commenter says, from that age, meaning when OP being 18 and husband was 25, how it ended. Yikes. Girl, lawyer up. Yeah. And then a lot of commenters are saying, and he got her pregnant right away. Makes you wonder if he didn't mess with the birth control in the beginning of the relationship to baby trap. Update me. I agree. It is kind of suspicious. I mean, the age gap is kind of big. I mean, 33 and 40, that's a 7-year age gap. Yeah, it sounds like it's more of a power move. Anyways. Another commenter says, I mean, who tries to have a baby with someone without discussing it first? Also, as a man, like, what if your partner decides that abortion is the best option? Then you gotta go through all of that because you couldn't say, I think we should have another kid. The attempted impregnation is a whole other level of wrong. Like, yeah, what the guy said about the kid is ground for divorce alone, but the confession should have his crap on the curb. By that crap, I mean his front teeth. Wow! I guess people are as heated as me about this situation. Another commenter says, messing with birth control is a form of sexual assault since it's taking away informed consent. OP, your husband admitted that he was willing to sexually assault you in order to get what he wants. Ooh, that's a very good point there. Another commenter says, his behavior is beyond alarming. The fact that he even considered tampering with birth control or assaulting you in your sleep to force pregnancy is terrifying. That alone is a deal breaker. Exactly. Get away from him. Stay away. Stay with your family. Keep you and Peyton, your daughter, safe. Anyways, do you guys have any advice for this OP? Let me know in the comment section. And remember, if you like these types of stories, to continue to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.